Now, public speaking actually, right, is one of the most potent weapons. Notice that if you do not say anything out of your mouth, or if you do not communicate, no one knows exactly what is happening to you. And that is why it has become very, very important for us to quickly know how to speak very well. So we are going to be having some foundational settings here, and we're going to be having theoretical classes and practical classes. Today, we're quickly going to go through the theoretical class. I want to take you through a journey on today's class. So imagine when you guys were young, right? Maybe when you wanted to answer one question in class, your teacher asked somebody in class and the person stood up to answer that particular question. And then at a point in time, what happened is that as soon as the students, we were trying to answer the question and maybe you did not get it, then everybody in class laughs at you. You actually tried to bring out some ideas from your head to tell the teacher, but it was not good enough for the teacher because the answer was not good enough and everybody laughed at you. Something might have registered in your head that day. The teacher might maybe be trying to pass a strong corrective message to you that you should listen in class and you should maybe read ahead. But maybe the message you got that day was different from what that particular teacher was passing to you. The message you must have gotten that day must have been that, okay, possibly that public speaking is bad because you're ashamed for opening your mouth in public. And that this particular type of experiences that people have during their childhood process, right, forms an idea in their head that they cannot communicate as they will. It gives them an imposter syndrome to quickly communicate anytime they want to communicate in public. So I want to ask you one question this morning. Please, I want us to give nice feedback. Do you guys know who said this particular? Can you see my screen? Do you guys know who said this particular thing? You are my African reigning monarch, my dream girl. Do you guys know who have this quote? Success, do you know who has this quote? Egwana, do you know who has this quote?
No.
Marcel, do you know who has this quote?
No, I think it's the first time I'm seeing or hearing.
Okay, so look at my screen now, right? See something else. You are my African queen, the girl of my dreams, remind me of an African beauty. Do you know who said this quote?
Two-Face.
You know, Two-Face.
Very good. So you see, it's like this. The way you communicate something, right, actually places a lot of meaning to it. You can see we're talking about the same thing. In fact, when you put my African reigning monarch, it is a very big word. But the simplicity, right, came from this word, from this other one. So the way you put things together, right, actually matters. So let's quickly go forward and see what we can do to get our content in place. So I've told you that speaking is a form of communication and it can actually be verbal or what? Non-verbal. It can be a one-on-one thing or versus 500 people or versus 4 of us or 5 of us that are here currently in this particular class. So how did public speaking actually become a thing that people want to learn? People want to be able to get better at it, to be able to have an influence, right? So it's actually started during the time of Aristotle. You see these Greek philosophers, at a point in time, they were not even writing their ideas. They would go to public places and they would argue. And once they argue and they try to convince people, right, they use so much persuasive skills, so much confidence to be able to do it. So public speaking actually became conceptualized around these 3 concepts. It was conceptualized around ethos, which means that you see some people come, once they come to speak to you in a conference, they come with so much credibility. I am so and so this. Okay, let me give you one like that now. So as a public speaker, but possibly I come and like, hi, my name is Rume Dominic. I'm the CEO, founder of Rume. I'm a certified metaverse expert and a certified blockchain So I'm coming with so much credibility, right? And because I'm an expert in my field, I put my work out. So that particular style of communicating, right? Possibly, and I also say, I've looked at the problems that you guys are having in the blockchain sector, and I've come to be able to fix it and maybe provide some funding for it. So with my credibility, if I establish a little bit of goodwill for it, you will see that a lot of people would resonate with that type of speaking that I am speaking. And the other type of public speaking that comes after that is what? The public speaking that comes with an emotional appeal, which is called pathos. So when some people come speak to you, they come speak to you with so much emotions, they give you some kind of emotional blackmail. So persuasion connects to this particular type of public speaking. So when they come to you, they arrange the speaking, maybe they give you an introduction as a body part that comes with that particular emotions, right? And then you are swayed to what they want to pass across to you. It can also come in the form of logos, which means logic, which means that for your public speaking, you need to have a lot of data and a lot of facts for you to be able to pass your message across to that particular audience. So if you have this particular three concepts in mind and you quickly apply it, your communication will become better, because you will know that which type of conference am I going to speak? Am I going to speak at a burial? Am I going to speak at a book launch? So you now say, oh, am I going to speak at a conference where I'm invited for a professional event relating to my field? So in these three different situations, right, data applies to the type of public speaking you would apply to that particular audience, and emotions in terms of you being able to relate the person's life will apply to that particular thing, so that everybody can clap for you and say, whoa, 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 you did very well when you were trying to appraise this particular person using the word ethos, which is the emotional style. Or you can do that's the pathos rather. Or you can go for the ethos, which is the credibility, if you are in a professional place. So communication is actually one of the most important skills, and truly, we can see that in the life of someone like Obama. There was one black guy, no one knew from any distance. He just came one day, gave a particular speech. That's if you go online on YouTube, if you Google let's see 2004 Democratic National Convention speech. If we Google that on YouTube. So let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can have that particular speech. So Obama, what he did, right? He just went, nobody knew him like so well, but he mastered that particular act. And he did it at that particular convention. He came, I would leave this particular link to this video so that you guys can look at it again and go through it. So he came and he was like, let's see if we can have a little bit of volume on this. I hope my internet is strong enough to quickly give us that rendition. Can you guys see my screen? Confirm you can see my screen, and confirm you can hear a little bit of the audio.
Yes.
Okay. So what happened in this particular convention is that Obama came, used the ethos, used the logos, and just came. If you can somehow fold your story. So you can see how he started. You can see he used that particular emotional side. And then he now related it with the hardworking side of Americans, and he did that particular speech. So let's relate it to someone else. Apart from Obama, I want to take another case study. And our case study that we want to take is Hitler. Adolf Hitler. So when Hitler was, before Hitler became the guy that you guys all know, he was just one guy that came, he was a communication expert actually. Hitler was actually a communication expert, and he was attending some meetings. When he attended some meetings, he saw that the people were not able to communicate the ideas that they wanted in that particular meeting. And the Marxism party then was like possibly about 30, 40 something people then. And Hitler started communicating to them every week. So Hitler set out time to communicate with these particular people every week. And he built that particular communication with them, which turned out a result of over 8,000 people in that particular Marxist party, right? In a space of what, 2 years. Being able to apply these three different concepts in his speaking. So once he built it to that particular level of about 8,000 people, he started pushing his own agenda forward, because now he had enough influence over the people. And you can see the result of what that particular effect of strong public speaking skill did. He was able to wipe out 6 million Jews. Have you ever seen Hitler's have you ever seen Hitler's communication? When you look at Hitler's communication online on YouTube, right, you will see the tone of his voice, the pitch of his voice. So when we are going to get to a part of our lecture where we would be looking at the tone of the voices and the pitch of the voices. So we'll quickly be looking at the 4 fundamental pillars of public speaking. We have effective communication. And for you to have effective communication, you need to have an understanding of what should be involved. And it means you need to have clarity on these particular messages. The clarity you need to have, number 1, you need to have clarity of self. When I say clarity of self, let's say, like for me now, my focus is in finance, blockchain, agri-tech, and you have it in technology too. So you can see that I won't just jump tomorrow and they say, okay, go and give something on maybe nuclear, or maybe a lecture on one particular strange topic that is way out of what I really possibly don't know. I should try as much as possible to understand clearly and be clear on what I want to go and do there. So I must be clear to myself and know the aims and objectives that I need to deliver in that particular setting. Then you need clarity of message. When you're looking at your effective communication, you need to have a clarity of the message that you want to send out. When I say clarity of the message, how do I mean? You can see here highlighted that your knowledge of public speaking is dependent on how much you know about the subject matter. So if I want to talk about data analytics right now, or I want to talk about business, or maybe I go to Schlumberger or maybe ExxonMobil. If I want to talk about something that is related to blockchain, I must know the subject matter of things that is happening in the oil sector for me to interlace blockchain to the business use case that is available in that particular sector. If I'm unable to do that, that means I might not be able to communicate with those people effectively. But if I can do that, I would have successfully have clarity of audience, because the audience, all that audience know. If you are talking to an audience that knows all about war, all about maybe rape, all about maybe violence, all about maybe like what is happening in Ukraine, you must be clear on the type of message. So you understand you must see things from the other person's perspective. You must see things from the other audience perspective. Your knowledge of public speaking, right, is actually dependent on how much you know about that particular subject matter, and how much you perform in public speaking will be dependent on how much you know about that particular subject matter. So you need to understand your unique speaking style and your unique position. You need to practice it. You need to study to get clarity of message, and you need to know how you will pass your message across to your audience. Because if you have a fundamental assignment to know them, you have a fundamental assignment to know them. If you actually practice this particular culture of knowing them before you go to speak to them, getting clarity of message, clarity of audience, right? The efficacy of your strategy, this culture will deliver you a better, efficient strategy in terms of public speaking. You need to know that when you are going for public speaking, just like I categorize those things for you, you must have emotions attached to it. It is part of the fundamental pillars of what? Public speaking. Now, why did we say emotions? Because an emotionless speech is a lifeless speech. It cannot connect and it cannot stick. Emotions are the most potent tool to draw the attention of people. Emotions are the most potent tool to draw the attention of what? Of people. And how do you do that? You do that using possibly storytelling experiences or what? Putting examples. You do that using what? Storytelling experiences or what? Using what? Examples. So quickly, I want us to quickly look at the types of what? The types of the speeches that we have. So if you are going out and you are giving an informative speech, right? Theoretical knowledge is very, very important. If you are going out and you want to give an informative speech, right? You what? Need a high level of what? Theoretical knowledge. Let's say they invite you to go and give like the annual report for your company or something, or bank, this thing. For you to be able to do that type of informative speech, you need a lot of what? Theoretical knowledge and what? And statistical knowledge, because your primary reason is to what? Pass information. An example is a what? Of your lecturer. You should not waste what? You should not waste so much what? So much time. So if you waste so much time doing that particular thing and you are not actually theoretically informed, the information you are trying to pass across will not do what? Will not stick. And you have another type of speech that is the persuasive speech, which is the type that you have like the Peter Obi, the Masiwaju Jagaban doing. They are giving you that type of persuasive speech, giving you a call to action for you to vote for them, right? And then these people, there are ways they do it. They pay you, they sometimes use pitch. Some of them, when they are talking, if I increase the tone of my voice now, there's a level of different attention that you pay to me. If I reduce the tone of my voice, there's a level of different attention that you pay to me. So there are patterns that these people use to communicate this style of persuasive speech that is what actually makes it to what? To get across to people. So I need you guys to understand that the last type of speech is what? Is a demonstrative speech. And on this particular demonstrative speech, right, all you need is to have some logical side and some emotional side to it. And basically, you will be doing well. Because if you have a demonstrative speech, possibly you go, maybe they will tell you to give something about maybe a car that maybe they want to launch or something. Possibly you have to be logical about it, give some statistics why it's better than so and so this thing, and why people should use it better than whatever is available. So you demonstrate that particular launch structure. So today, as we draw our curtain to a close, we are going to draw it to a close looking at the structural analysis of a speech. The structural analysis of a speech. When we're young, right? When we're young and we're writing our WAEC, our college English, they told us that every letter writing we want to do consists of 3 major parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. But every time that we open our mouths to speak, then if you did not write it in that particular manner, if you send it across, possibly you will fail. I haven't heard that particular information that every speech, everything is made up of introduction, body, and a conclusion. Most times, whenever we open our mouths to speak, we never take this into consideration. We just go and maybe put the conclusion start with the conclusion, enter into the body, and then go and introduce it and scatter the whole speech. It is important for you to understand that your speech needs to be logically and well arranged so that the human brain can pattern it very well, so that it can deliver what? The said message. So you must understand that once you want to start a speech in your writing structure, you must have introduction, you must have the body side, and you must have the conclusion. Now, I want to tell you the few things that will tweak your public speaking experience to ensure that once this particular things are added, it will get better. And the things that I just highlighted now, which is a transition, right? The transition that sparks conversation, that introduces you into what? The body. A transition before the body and a transition before what? The conclusion. So you do an introduction, right? You put a transition, you get into the body, you put a transition again before you finally do what? Go into the what? Into the conclusion. Because you see, you want to be able to get the attention span of people during that your speech. And you know, the truth is that boredom does not exist in our generation. No. If you guys are bored now, as you leave this meeting, just go on Facebook or go on Today Not, go on Gossip Mail or something. At least you see something to what? To feel your distance. So because boredom does not exist, your speech needs to be structured to always take the attention of people, transition them, take them through a journey. So you have the introduction, the transition, the body, the transition, and the what? The conclusion. So you need to put this to what? To work continually. I'm going to be giving you guys a context assignment, right? So let's say, so there was a popular question that was asked that should international community interfere with international politics, right? So let's say I want to do an introduction, a body, and a conclusion for that. Possibly I might say, if I want to use storytelling, or I want to use some examples, I might say, okay, I've lived so and so number of my years in the world, and I've seen the inclusion of international bodies come to this. Then maybe I start with one or two storytelling. I can say in 1994, Iraq was going through unrest and US came. Afghanistan was going through unrest and US came. That's me trying to introduce him. Which other country? Gaddafi, Libya was going through this thing, and US came, and you can see that Libya money was at par with dollar less than 2 or 3 years ago, and today their money is shit. So once I have that as my introduction, I can now move as a transition and say, so based on this, I'm about to prove to you that my so and so this thing. Why? Based on this, I want to tell you why foreign bodies should not interfere in local politics. Then you now go into the body. You give the body yada, yada, yada. Then you go into the what? The transition again. And then you do what? You go into the what? Into the conclusion. So maybe when you are going into the conclusion, you can now pause it. So you see, here I highlighted it that. So my question now is actually, so at this particular point, see a transition. My name is Rume Dominic, and now I'm giving my point. And then once you get into that particular transition, you do what? You conclude. So another example we might quickly put is, let's say, the reason why maybe digital devices are better now. We can say, okay, prior to then, in 1975, personal computers were being used, and possibly they had so many challenges in accessing them. 5 years later, Apple became the booming this thing, and it got better because you graduated from personal computers to this type of computing. And right now, we have the internet, which is what's giving us access to digital devices and all of these things. Based on this particular conclusion, you transition into a body that gives them a certain advantage, and then you now go into a transition that does that quickly concludes and tell your story to quickly deliver that particular point. As of now, we'll quickly need to round up and call today's class a close, because we are excellent people and do not want to take you much further beyond this particular point of our class today, because we had this particular class scheduled for 30 minutes for today. We are going to be having the next class next week, Friday, this same time. Before then, we are going to converge in a group so that we can quickly pass the assignments. I will quickly, before we end today's class, in the next 2 minutes, I will be introducing each and every one of you here so that we'll get to know each and every one of ourselves and be able to possibly connect much more better in the group. Right here, we have Egono. Egono is head of operations here at Rume, Nigeria. We have Success and we have Marcel. We have two people that did not join us today. Hopefully they join us next week. Marcel is a data analyst in UK. Success is my personal assistant here and writes all of my communicative speech across all my communication channels. So hi guys, meet each and every one of you. So I will be creating that particular WhatsApp group so that you guys can have access to the assignments on time, and you guys can also quickly build from this particular platform. As African women, I'm looking forward to seeing how much more better you guys can take your communicative skills one more step higher. So on this note, we end today's class. Do you guys have any question or any observation to put out before we call it a day?
No question from me.
No, none from my end either. Thank you.
Thank you, Rume. Hi everybody. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Hi everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Did you guys enjoy today's class?
It was brilliant. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you very much. Did I not get only one reaction? Hello, all of you.
It was good.
If
It
not
was
next
good.
week class, I will charge money.
It was good, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh yes. Thank you very much. All right. So looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Have a nice weekend.